Hey guys, Nick here, coming at you with some game news. Thought I'd go over a couple things and kind of start this as a new thing so that I can go over a little bit of what I'm seeing in the news and hopefully kind of give you guys some information that you'll enjoy and tie it more into the gaming segment on it, just like I've started doing a little bit of toy news here and there. One of the things I'd like to go ahead and cover is that Borderlands 3 is finally actually getting a release date on Steam. So those of you that were not interested in purchasing it on the Epic Store will be available to purchase it on Steam on March 13th. If you haven't seen that, now you know. Um, right now, it seems like Epic is trying to push hard to get people to buy it on their platform because they have it on sale for $30. It is going to retail for $40 on Steam Store, so it will be close to the full retail price that it was at launch. Um, now, I'm kind of a little confused as to why Epic is running the sale and then cutting it 10 days before it releases on Steam. I probably would have delayed it personally so that it coincided more with the first couple days that they had it on Steam or the first month or so that they had it on Steam, just to keep people more interested in buying it on their platform than they are buying it on another platform, because that way you're getting a deal on it. Now, I'm sure there are plenty of used copies of this game for various different consoles and things like that that you can pick up. But if you're a PC gamer and you want it on there, here's your chance. Moving on from that a little bit, GameStop is another topic that's kind of come up in the news again recently, mostly because they've been getting increased pressure from managers towards the employees to do more sales because the business is having trouble. Another thing that happened is they let go of a lot of district managers recently to try to keep the company afloat, as well as giving $65 coupons to anyone that had their Power Card rewards type program, their $15 card program. They were giving them a $65 store credit in an attempt to kind of keep the business afloat. It's kind of sad to see them floundering like this, even though I've never been the biggest fan of their actual business, just because I found it difficult to find particular games when I wanted to. They were always pushing used games, and the used games never had the right box. If you went in there and you hadn't pre-ordered, it was oftentimes hard to find a copy of the game you wanted, or you'd have to get one that was all scratched up. It just wasn't a scene I was really into. Even when they started getting collectibles in there, I still found it too cluttered and too difficult to navigate to get the things I wanted. But I am sad to seeing it start to flounder the way it is, mostly because people are going to lose jobs, and that's always a bit of a disappointment. The next thing in the news that's come up is Final Fantasy VII. That is going to have a release date of April 10th, and they also have a demo out right now that you can download and play on the PS4. So if you haven't and you're interested in it, I recommend you go ahead and download it and play it and decide whether or not you want to go ahead and pre-order, or if you've already pre-ordered, whether or not you want to keep that pre-order just to kind of stoke your own eagerness for the game that's coming out very shortly. Everyone that's played it that I've seen on all the news outlets says it's phenomenal, and they're really excited to play the rest of it. The only downside that I've heard is Red, who's one of the characters that you get towards the end of the very first section of the game before the game really opens up into the greater world, is not playable in the game. He's going to be AI controlled. He will be part of your party. He is going to be in the game. There's been plenty of pictures of him that confirm that. But you won't be able to play him actively in your party. I'm hoping that changes in the next game because he comes in very late, and where I suspect they're going to end the first part of the game and where they're going to pick up the next part of the game. So hopefully missing out on being able to actively play him more in this portion isn't going to be as big of a deal if they do that in the next part. Because if I remember right, he only had like a couple of hours of gameplay with him before that section of the game was done. And then you moved on to the next section. So hopefully he'll come around and that'll be more of a thing. The next thing that came up as Fallout 76 is finally introducing NPC dialogue. Whether or not you're still a fan of this game, whether or not you love this game or not, this is going to be a welcome addition to the game. I don't think it's going to be anything like Final Fantasy Realm Reborn, where it's going to really revitalize the game. I feel like this is still a little too late for most people to want to get into the game. It does come with a few extra things that they are going to try to monetize, of course, when they launch it, and that's going to be more cosmetics and a planter that allows you to grow crops in areas where there's not any ground that's tenable to be able to grow anything. So if you want to spend more money in that direction, they are more than happy to take your cash. I personally do not feel like this is enough that's going to interest me in the game. I was never huge into the Fallout series overall. I really was kind of rooting for 76 to be the one that grabbed me, and it never did. It had way too many bugs. It had way too many problems. Those problems persisted for way too long, and they appear to have continued to be aggravated over the time of the game. I'm hoping this gets them a little bit of positive press and starts kind of a pathway towards success, because I would eventually like to see this game become something that the Fallout community as a whole can get into, rather than just being a niche title that certain people are enjoying. The next thing past that I have is that basically DOA 6 has found a new way to monetize. Tecmo has introduced a new thing where they sell you these new tokens that can let you buy individual costumes, and it can also let you change your hair color. Yeah, change your hair color. So they're charging you $2 basically, because it requires 2 of these tokens, and they're about $1 a piece, to change your hair. Now, that's not buying a new hairstyle. That is not buying a new color of hair. That is simply changing the hair color. So every single time you change your hair color, you're going to have to pay this, which is unbelievably aggressive even for them. They have been a bad company about over monetizing their games in the past. Dead or Alive being one of the primary examples of that. Dead or Alive 5 had about $1,200 worth of extra content as far as costumes and characters and things like that if you were to buy all the season passes. And there were a significant amount of season passes in that game. And now they're taking it a step further with the hairstyles, which I thought they had kind of overstepped quite a bit before. And this part is just absolutely ridiculous. People submitted questions asking if this was a mistake, and the company replied back, no, this was the intended design, which I think is even worse. So hopefully they'll kind of come to their senses on it. I don't plan on buying a ton of DLC for this. I do buy the extra characters when they come out. Occasionally I'll buy a costume or a costume pack if it's one I think I'll use a lot of them of. But this I feel is going way, way too far. And hopefully at some point some of this stuff will get stepped in on and start getting pulled back, because I feel like it's going way, way too far. But that's about all I have for you guys tonight. Hopefully this can kind of become a regular thing. You guys can let me know if there's anything I missed out of anything we covered. Is there any other topics that I should have covered that I didn't cover? And let me know if you actually kind of like this format with me just kind of talking with you a little bit, and us kind of going over what's going on for the day, or what's going on in toys, or what's going on in games. That's kind of part of what I want to do to kind of help augment the content and let you guys get a better feel for how I feel about the games in general and the toys in general. That's kind of what these things are about. So let me know what you guys think, what you guys like, and I'll try to get more of it on the channel. But until next time, I'm out.